These are some lessons from the book Atomic Habits that changed my life, and hopefully it can change yours too. Just get like 1% better. Now 1% doesn't seem like all that much. You probably won't even be able to notice it. You get 1% stronger, you won't really be able to tell. 1% better parent, better businessman, better guitar player, you won't really be able to notice. But if you get 1% better every day for a year, at the end of the year, you will be 37 times better than you are today, just by getting 1% better every single day. That's something I've been trying to do, just to learn one new thing or get one tiny bit closer to my goals every single day. Honestly, this has been just super encouraging for me. Your outcome is the lagging measure of your habits. Now, what does that mean? That means that your net worth will be dependent on your spending habits. That means how healthy you are, how fit you are, is gonna be the result of your eating habits and your exercise habits. So this really made me stop looking at the end result as the problem, like maybe my house is cluttered and I need to declutter my house, which yes, that is important, but also looking backwards at what are the little things that I'm doing every single day that's making my house so bad that it's messy all the time, that it's stressful. So not just looking at the end result, but also the habits that led there that are the real problem. What progress really looks like. I used to look at progress kind of like a line that goes like this, like you keep trying to improve and you keep getting a little bit better. You keep putting in work and you keep getting a little bit better result. But it's not exactly like that. It's more like this. It's kind of like the effects of compound interest. You get those same effects with your habits and the different skills that you're building. You put in a lot of work. And I've seen this in a bunch of different areas in life, especially like even with my YouTube channel, where I put the same amount of work in now that I did before, but the results are drastically different. But why things are so drastically different now is because of all the work I put in 3 years ago. But a lot of people never get to see the overnight success or the getting lucky or the crazy results because they never make it to that part of the curve because they're expecting things to continue to get better at a steady pace, and it's not really like that. Stop making goals. If you completely ignore your goals and focus on systems instead, would you get the same results? For me, the answer was yes. Now, while I do have a couple different goals, one of them being once I hit 500,000 subscribers, I'll get a Tesla. So if you want to help me get there, don't forget to subscribe. But instead, I've been really focusing on systems because a system is something that you can control. Winners and losers both have goals. What separates the two is the system. It's the little things you do every day, the habits that you form. So just kind of like stop focusing on goals and instead work on systems. You gotta change who you are. When I was getting started in the process of trying to change some habits, I would look at the desired outcome. It's kind of like looking at the goal, like because I wanna be in shape, therefore I won't have this donut, or because I'm on a diet, therefore I won't have this donut. But instead, you actually have to change how you see yourself and who you are. I haven't had a donut in years, or a Pop-Tart, or fast food, or soda, not because I'm on some type of diet, but because I have changed into being a healthy person. That is how I see myself. Would a healthy, athletic person, go to McDonald's regularly? No, so I'm not gonna do that. What does a healthy person do? They eat well, they have good habits, they go to the gym consistently. So while yes, it's important to change our habits, we also have to change like who we are. The goal isn't really to read one page of a book a day, it is to become a reader. The goal isn't to eat less junk food, it is to be a healthy person. And as a healthy person, that's just what I do. Now, while that seems nice, how do you change who you are? The answer is to vote for yourself.
Not that way.
Every time I do something good or I do something bad, I'm voting for who I want to be, who I'm going to be, who I see myself as. So it's really important to choose who you want to be, and then you have to vote for that person to become that person. You have to prove it to yourself by making small wins. As someone who didn't graduate high school, and like there's a joke that I only read pictures because I can't read great. I can read, I'm just not good at like reading out loud. But I wanted to become a reader. So every single morning for the past almost a year now, I have read one page from a book. Now, one page isn't a big deal, and usually I read more than one page, but it's this idea of showing up and consistently casting a vote that I am a reader. And now I kind of consider myself a reader because I do it all the time now. Like sometimes I just sit around and read for fun. I couldn't dream of doing that years ago, but it's because I consistently showed up and proved it to myself that I am a reader. Be specific. When I was attempting to form new habits a couple years ago, I would just kind of go, I'm gonna read today. or I'm gonna go to the gym today, or I'm gonna go for a run today. But most of the time it wouldn't even happen that day, and it definitely wouldn't happen consistently. So instead we need to be more specific. Maybe even write it down. I will do this behavior at this time in this location. When I actually have all those things specifically written down or planned out, I'm like a million times more likely to actually do that. Habit stacking. Now, this is kind of similar to the last one that I just talked about, but honestly, this one helps me so much because it's just like a hack. It kind of goes like this. After I do a habit that is already a habit, something that I'm doing already, I will do the new habit. So I actually kind of use this to build my morning routine. So after I shower and I make my coffee, before I get to drink my coffee, I'm gonna read one page of this book. It kind of stacks it in where every single morning I'm gonna make coffee. It's something I enjoy to do. I like that habit. And before I get to drink the coffee, I have to read a page of this book. It makes it very simple to add it in, and it takes like 30 seconds. So it's just the idea of taking a habit that's already working for you and just hijacking that, doing something right before it or right after it. So you don't have to create like this whole new thing. You're just hijacking something you're already doing. I don't know, it works really good for me. Be lucky. This is kind of like the advice of just like be better. Like, thanks, I would if I could, but you actually can, which is kind of cool. This is just really the idea of setting yourself up for success, which will make your habits a lot easier. Like if you're trying to stop having ice cream and Oreos every night as you're binge watching TV, instead of trying to fight that and using all this willpower, just don't buy ice cream and Oreos. Instead, buy some apples or some other type of healthy snack so that when you get that craving for ice cream and Oreos, you can have something else. People think that I'm like a disciplined person, but I'm not really that disciplined. I just kind of created my environment to really help me maintain these habits so that I don't have to be disciplined because I don't have the option to do anything else. Making it normal, I guess. You guys have no idea how little planning I put into these videos. I'm just kind of sharing stuff that I'm learning with you, so it's not always perfect. There was a crazy stat that I read in this book. A person's chances of becoming obese increase 57% if he or she has a friend who became obese. Who you surround yourself with will drastically change your entire life. If you surround yourself with people who are wealthy, who think about money, who are business owners and entrepreneurs, you're more likely to have more money, to be careful how you spend it, to start investing, to start your own business. If you surround yourself with fit people, you're much more likely to go to the gym and to eat healthy. Even just who you watch and what type of stuff you consume will shape how you think and what you think is normal. And what you think is normal is more likely what you're gonna do, as opposed to something that's crazy, that nobody around you, that just doesn't really fit in. So just being very careful who you kind of like surround yourself with. Change the way you look at things. This was honestly life-changing for me. I used to kind of like think about things the wrong way. It'd be like, I have to get up early tomorrow. I need to go to the gym after work. I just need to buy less stuff. But instead, I needed to start changing how I talk to myself and how I look at the things that I'm doing. And it actually made me do those things a lot more. Like saying, I get to wake up early tomorrow, and then I'll have some calm space where I can do my morning routine before everybody else is up. I get to get better at balancing today, you know, kind of better. Or I get to buy a little bit of my freedom back today. It's reps, not days. Most of us have heard that it takes 66 days to form a new habit, or 21 days, or whatever you hear. But instead of asking how long is it gonna take to make this habit stick, we should be asking, how many times do I need to do this in order to make this habit stick? If I can clean up for 5 minutes every night, how many times do I have to do that before that habit sticks? And honestly, I don't know how many that number is, and it doesn't really matter. What's important is putting in the reps until it becomes automatic. It's okay to be lazy. I consider myself kind of a lazy person, but it can be in a good way. I really like to try to get the result with the least amount of effort. But it's also kind of important to realize that that's what we do. That's why we just sit there and we scroll on our phones all the time, or we watch TV. It's because it takes almost no effort to pull out your phone and start scrolling, or to just go through and watch the next thing on Netflix that starts automatically. So if we want to take advantage of that laziness, we need to set up some positive things in our lives that are very convenient and can happen almost automatically. And that's why we need to make it convenient. I pretty much stopped drinking soda and buying expensive water when I'm out, simply by getting a water filter and a water bottle and filling it up and leaving it on the kitchen table until it became so convenient to just grab that thing full of water that it was more convenient than just walking out the door and having to stop somewhere and buy a water or buy a soda. So in order to start a new habit, you gotta ask yourself, how can I make this convenient? Don't break the chain. This has been probably one of the most beneficial things for me. It's just the idea of doing the same thing every single day to get you closer to your goals. So for me with YouTube, every single day for the past like 3 years, I have done one thing to get me closer to my goal. Maybe half a million subscribers. I don't even know what my goal is, but I guess my goal is more to build that system. And when you have a chain going, it really encourages you not to break the chain. Like I haven't been to McDonald's in 7 years. There was one time when everybody else was gonna go, it was like 12 o'clock at night. I hadn't eaten since like breakfast. I was starving, but I didn't want to break the chain. So I just starved to death for another like 2 hours till we got home. Having a chain going of days or weeks or months or years is really motivating to just stick to that habit. Track your habits. One study of over 600 people found that the people who tracked what they ate daily lost about twice as much weight as those who didn't track it. While you don't need to do this forever, especially when you're getting started, actually taking the time to track your habits and write them down will make sticking to them a lot easier. Never miss twice. I love this. I especially use it in my health when I'm working out or dieting. It's never the first mistake that ruins you. It is the second one, which leads to the third and the fourth and fifth. So if you're on a diet, you're trying to lose weight, you have one bad day, don't say screw it, the whole diet's over, I'm done. But instead, say I lost that day, but I'm getting right back to it tomorrow, and never miss twice. Focus on what you're good at. I'm more of a creative person, so instead of trying to do math, like I tried to be an accountant and it lasted like a week, it was terrible. But instead of trying to bang my head against the wall on stuff that I'm not good at, I really just focus on the things that I am good at and see if I can outsource the rest of stuff. So everybody is talented at a different thing, so find your thing that comes easy to you and focus on what you're good at instead of trying to conquer the thing that doesn't come naturally to you. Choose the right habits. Pretend you didn't see that. When you're trying to start a new habit, don't choose what I'm doing or what you see other people doing online or your friends are doing. Focus on the right ones for you. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. Focus on what is right for you and don't get caught up in just trying to do what is normal or cool or popular right now. It's just a waste. Use the Goldilocks rule. This is pretty much just the idea of trying to find that sweet spot where if something is too easy, you're gonna get bored with it, you're not gonna stick with it. But if something's too hard, it's gonna get discouraging and you're not gonna wanna stick with that either. So according to this book, you should try to work on a habit that is roughly 4% beyond your abilities. How they calculate that, I don't know, but don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next week.